Thanks for joining me today for part 2 of my interview with Sylvia Anderson. This amazing conversation that I had with her about the journey of faith and how she presents that at the Everett Gospel Mission, which of course seconds into our interview, the audio died and we didn't realize until we were all done. So here we are. So the second point or the question that I had for her was, this sounds like a great message that we all have faith and that we get to meet Jesus and understand who he is that has been helping us with that. But what happens when that's a great message when someone comes in the first time? What happens when they come in the second or the third time? Where do they come back and how do you present that as still the same important message? And what I heard from her was really, I want you to ponder this. I want you to really let this resonate. She said, I am so glad that God doesn't just meet me in my struggles the first time around the mountain. Pause and think on that. I am so glad that God doesn't just meet me in my struggles the first time around the mountain. When I look at my struggles, I'm grateful that God is not saying that he'll only be there for me the first 3 times around. We're all the same. And we have to have that same tenacity, and we share it with our clients. So she shares that with her clients at the Everett Gospel Mission. Come until you get it. It's not finished until it's over. Besides, and here's the other part. So the first part is take a look at your life. How many times have you dealt with something in a repetitive manner? How many times have you had to go around the mountain until you got it, until you went, oh, that's the issue, or oh, that's how I need to do it. And she says, besides, when a client comes back, they're not the same. They tell us that before they were with us, there were things happening in their lives that they just accepted and they didn't question. But after they were with us, those things bothered them. Yay! That's growth. That's learning. So if they're seeing something happening around them out on the street and it just passes by as, that's just the way it is. And then they come in and spend some time with the Everett Gospel Mission, learn that things can be different. They go back again, and maybe they didn't have quite the experience they were hoping for, but they're starting to notice things. Oh, that's not good. Yeah, I don't have to put up with that. I have a way to deal with that differently. So they start, they're planting seeds. It goes back to that, the seeds parable where, we plant seeds into people's lives, and it might take a while for that to grow. And so that's what they're doing. They're seeing growth. They're seeing learning. She was with a gentleman signing a lease for the first time. He was in his mid-50s, and he paused before he signed the lease, and Sylvia asked him what he was waiting for. He said that he had never before been on his own lease, ever in his whole life. And she said, no way, how could that be? But that's the way that was. And so now here he was signing a lease for the very first time. He was in a place where he could be relied on to pay that rent, and he was making it with the shouldering and the support of the Everett Gospel Mission. She had another client, a woman who had been there when she started 20 years ago and had been with them off and on through that time for the last, I think it was about 2, I'm a little fuzzy on that. It was about the last 2 years, so 2 out of 20. For the last 2 years, she's been clean and sober the entire time. She is working full time. My notes say possibly at Boeing, but either way, she's working full time and she's living on her own. These are the success stories that they're seeing. And if you look at your own life, these are the similar success stories, maybe with different scenarios, but it takes us more times. And so don't be thinking that just because it didn't work, oh man, the Lord came to me, I had a revelation, life is good, and then somehow I'm back in a similar situation. It's not the same situation. You're not the same person. And we still have the shouldering of our support, whether that's someone else, a person who comes along with us, or Jesus Christ, who we have our faith in. And really, it's our faith is not perfect, and we can have confidence in his because he is. So that's my second piece for my interview with Sylvia Anderson of the Everett Gospel Mission. And I'm excited to talk with you about number 3 tomorrow. Talking a little bit more about how we handle being an emotional support or a stability for other people. So thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for joining me on this faith walk, and I'm excited to talk with you some more. Have an awesome day.